It's Monday morning. The Church of What's Happening Now. It's myself and Lee. We're just doing a quick wrap-up show. Not to leave you out there fucking hanging. Everybody else is leaving town and whatnot. Listen, thank you very much for a good year. I don't know what type of year you had. I know you had ups and downs. I know you had losses and you had gains. But no matter what, your 2 feet are on the fucking ground and you're still ready to go. 2020 is your year. Listen, they all can't be your year. They all can't be your month and they all can't be your day. I pulled the hamstring. I almost ripped it. I was scared I had to cancel Miami and New York and Boston. It all worked out. I got back. I lost a cat I made a promise to 12 years ago not do drugs. We all go through things. It's how you go through them, pass them, move on, and go on to the next level of your life. And that's what I try to do with the church. The church isn't for fucking rich people or for people who fucking think they're cool. This is for people who, we're always the fucking underdog. And and we love being the underdog. I love being the underdog. I fucking enjoy it. Because you know what? I always win when I'm a fucking underdog. And you're going to start taking the same philosophy. It's been a great year. I didn't have to shoot any specials. I didn't have to fucking do any contests or anything like that. The goals I wanted to achieve, I achieved, which is to be a better comic, to be healthy, to be a better father, to make this podcast a little better, to be a better husband, and to learn to be a better friend. Tomorrow night's New Year's Eve. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. I know 30 years ago I was thinking about fucking doing whatever, but for you people who didn't know, I didn't get high on New Year's Eve. I got high every night except New Year's Eve since 1984 when my friend's ear got bit off and I couldn't answer for him because I was too fucked up. 83. So I got high 360-something days of the year except New Year's Eve. How fucked up
were you completely sober or just not as fucked
smoking
up?
Some joints. I always wanted to pay attention on New Year's. You always want to pay attention on New Year's. Yeah, you're having a good time. They think you're drinking, but you got a fucking Coke with a fucking lime in it. They think you're drinking a Cuba Libre. You're always watching. That's the way life is. You're always watching. Let the fucking morons lose control in public and not know what the fuck is going on. Then the next day, I lost my cell phone. Somebody robbed me. Somebody fucked me in the ass while you passed out. That's what happens when you pass out in the TP. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Yeah, what the fuck? The reason why I do this wraparound podcast is just to let you know that it's not over, man. It's not over. It was just a fucked up year, and shit happens. And this time of the year doesn't make it fucking any worse because this puts pressure on you. But hey, push all that shit aside because you're alive. You've got a plan this year, and you got the church. You got us. Worst case scenario, you don't have no friends. You got me and Lee. You listen to us twice a week. We're there with you. You got a question, you hit me up on Messenger, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we're right there. This is not a podcast where we're stars and we're looking down on you, we're better than you. We're in the same rut as you. I go along learning something new every day. Somebody told me something. I'm going to tell you guys something for the next year, and then we'll get the podcast started. A wise woman last week watched a one-man show I did at the Comedy Store. And afterwards, she said she enjoyed it. But she comes from a Buddhist background, which is always a good background because it makes you question a lot of things. And she asked me what I wanted. I told her an array of things. She goes, I want you to write down, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? 7 times. And then write down the answer. And I did it. And I came up with some pretty fucking cool answers. So if you don't know what direction you're taking 2020 into, listen, man, nobody needs for you to lose 200 pounds. Nobody needs for you to be $20,000 richer. Nobody needs for you to fucking do anything. Just be a little bit better than what you were in 2019. That's it. That's all we ask you. Just be a little bit better. If you fucking whatever, you're going to do just a little bit better this year. That's it. Just be human, have a good time, and make sure that it's not. Listen, I know people who got money coming out of their assholes, and they always got a sour puss on their face. The other night, there's an app called like ABC Yahoo or some shit, and it's for kids. My wife made my daughter write a letter to Santa, the toys she wanted and shit. But I guess this, did I tell you about this?
Yeah, we talked about it on the last podcast.
This thing. And she wrote down that all she wanted to do was be happy. And it fucking blew my mind. That a 6-year-old could figure out the answer that took me fucking 40 years to realize. Because we all get confused. We think that girl's going to make us happy. That boat's going to make you happy. Having that car is going to make you happy. Then you get it, and then what? That's the beautiful thing about life, that we never think about. Once we get that goal, then what? Now what the fuck are we going to do? Listen, with happiness, you can never lose. Just go to be happy. It's not about money. It's not about bitches. It's not about real estate deals or who you fucked in the ass. Because when you're fucking laying in that casket, or before you put in that casket and you're taking your last breath, that's not the shit you're going to be thinking about. You're going to be thinking about the good times with your kids, your wives, your girlfriends, your friends. Be a better friend than 90 into 2020. Be a better friend to yourself, And that's it, man. This is a fucking simple fucking life. Only we make it harder on ourselves with pressure and listening to people. Listen to yourself. At the end of the week, who pays your bills? You do. The fuck you listen to that fucking jerk off for? Me, Lee. Listen to yourself. You have natural fucking instincts. And listen, man, this is the time of the year also where people's minds stray. Don't let your mind stray. Go out. Be around people. This year, the comedy community and you guys, because you guys are part of it. It's not like 40 years ago when Freddie Prinze shot himself and you didn't know who the fuck Freddie Prinze was. God rest his soul. This year we lost a comic. He was a great friend. I knew him since he was a fucking kid. And for a couple of months I was numb. For a couple of months I was angry. Now I'm wrapping 2019 up with him because I learned a lot from him. I learned that we have friends and we have to use them. Fuck you and your fucking psychiatrist that you pay $160 for. You give me $200 a week. I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to hear. You ever think about that? You ever think about that, you fucking idiots? You're giving some fucking jerk-off guy or lady $180 a week, $280 a week, $220, $160, $140. And they just tell you whatever they fucking... And you feel good for a while. But you know what? What's the problem with buying your best friend a cup of coffee at Denny's and talking to him? And letting him know, because of this shit, this is why Brody took his life in February. So this last podcast of the year, I wanted to bring you hope and let you know that fucking you got this. You got the world by the balls. You got everything to live for. You might think you're painted against a wall, but Joey, I'm sleeping on a towel. Hey, bitch. I slept on a towel too in 1995. Enjoyed it. Could have been linoleum. You know what I'm saying? Be happy with what you got. Think about your friends and think about if you get into a bind that you always have your friends. This is the last time Brody Stevens did this podcast, and I want to end the year with this podcast. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you.
Yes, we are here feeling good, relaxed, in the moment. I'm comfortable. I've been on the show. Good to see you guys.
Good
Lee and Joey.
Always great to bump into you. I was thinking about who can I have on this time. I said, fucking Brody Stevens. I just saw him at the store. Let me give him a fucking holler.
Yeah, it was, I saw you at the store, showing my face. See you, how you doing? Call me.
What time are your spots usually?
Normally, I'll do Friday or Saturday in the main room, closing it out, which is like 12:30, 12:45, late. And then occasionally I'll get an earlier spot in the original room, like a 10:45 or an 11. So Adam, the booker, and they mix it up for me, but I get 2 to 3 spots a week. But I make the most of those. If I get those main room spots, I go up at the end, I get to spread my wings and do my own thing, and that's what I made my special based on doing those late night main room spots where I'm just kind of letting it go. So I still do those. I've kind of, I've done it already. So I'm looking to do something more, but getting some motivation for, but they switch it up. But you got to hustle. Got to play the Laugh Factory. Got to go to the Improv. Got to do these other shows. Got to show your face.
Listen, the hustle never ends. Like I said, Sebastian Maniscalco sold out 4 shows in Madison Square Garden. And I'm telling you, every day, all of us struggle. Whatever level you're at, comically, whatever.
Right.
Every day you got to get up and face it and work and fucking, whatever it is that you do to get, closer to your goal, whatever the fuck it is. It was interesting. You were talking about at the beginning of the show that you're done with the meds. You're done.
Well, I have been.
For how long now?
4 months.
How do you feel?
Good. I mean, my mood is low. I feel like I have to rewire my brain a little bit and my body. I think that it takes several months to get it out of your system, and then you get used to being different. But essentially, I feel like my old self. But that doesn't necessarily, pre-comedy, because I had been taking some kind of an antidepressant, something to take the edge off since Seattle, and I had a year or two in New York when I was not really on anything, but being here in Los Angeles since 2000, I think the pressures maybe of the internet made me, all these, just so many more things happening. But initially I started taking it in Seattle because I'd get up there and do comedy and I wouldn't feel right. I felt like, oh, Brody, you're funny playing baseball. Then when I went up there and did comedy, it was rough. So I did take something to help me have the edge taken off. However, I feel like 20 years now later to say you're only on a med because it helps your comedy is kind of like a weak excuse.
Well, listen, by the way, I called it just to stay safe. I always said it was November 15th, but it was more like the 8th or the 9th when I gave up cocaine. And this is 11 years.
Wow.
11 years.
Coke-free this week.
Congratulations.
11 fucking years coke-free. Something that I never, ever, ever thought I could live without.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that I thought that if I got off it, I wouldn't be funny. That was my biggest fear of getting off the cocaine, was that I would lose my sense of humor.
Yeah.
So when you said that before the show started, I assured you that does not happen.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.